about a month ago, Luna Bar gave every one of the members of the women's national U.S. soccer team a $31,250 check to close the gap and make equal the gap in the roster bonuses for the men's and the women's team. And earlier had the chance, actually back in New York City before the move, to catch up with Alex Morgan, talk about that, talk about soccer, talk about the World Cup coming up this summer. I think you'll enjoy the interview. Here it is. Well, Alex, thank you so much for making time for us.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
So we're just talking about the very cool thing that Luna Bar, and thank you to Luna Bar for making you available, has done. Can you talk to us a little bit about that and what you think it means?
Absolutely. So Luna Bar proactively sought out the National Team Players Association and the players directly to really close the gender pay gap by providing all 23 players on the World Cup roster with an additional compensation or donation that really closes the gap between the men's side and our side. And it is sort of as a continuation of the fight that we have continually been working towards, which is gender equality within our sport, but also along with that, helping inspire women of all industries of work to fight for themselves in closing the gender pay gap as well.
It's very cool of Luna Bar, and obviously the timing is auspicious. I mean, it should have happened long ago, but World Cup is around the corner, getting ready for France. How are you feeling? How's the team feeling? What's the vibe at this stage?
The team's feeling great. Obviously, we're having a lot of games in preparation for the World Cup, and we're doing like final tune-ups and everything like that. So I think the team is very eager to get over to France. It's been 3 years since we bowed out of the Olympics in the quarterfinals much earlier than anticipated. And I think everyone has that in the back of their minds and have been waiting for this opportunity to represent the country on the highest platform again.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about 2016. We measure greatness by success, but a lot of times it comes from athletes like yourself who are motivated by the struggles, by the failures, by the times folks fall down. Does that stick with you? Do you think about it, or do you try to keep it entirely in the rearview mirror?
Oh, you have to grow on the failures that you have in order to really recognize the successes and appreciate them. And so it's definitely in the back of my mind. I remember it so vividly. I look back at pictures all the time just to continue to have that in the back of my mind. I think for me as a player, as an athlete, I need to recognize the failures in order to grow, as a player and as a person. So I think the team, really understands the underperformance that we had in 2016 and the realization that we never want that to happen again.
Wow, so you actually look at photos from the loss, from the Olympics, as that sounds almost like like self-inflicted punishment.
In a way, I guess you could see it as that. It's just important as athletes. You have to continue to find like encouragement and motivation because you go out on the field, you do your work, you go into meetings, and you're always trying to better yourself. As a teammate, as a player, you're trying to perfect your role on the team for what the coach gives you at a specific time, in your career. So along with that, you need to make sure that you're giving your best self, and that's making sure that you remember just how bad it feels to not end up on top. And I'm very lucky to have it at both sides of the spectrum, having won in 2015 and then having, a terrible Olympics in terms of the history of the national team. So I think I'm pretty lucky to have seen both sides of it and know where exactly I want to continue to end up.
It's a really interesting juxtaposition because going all the way back to 2011, the U.S. team did not reach the ultimate goal, redemption, in 2015 in Canada that you just referenced, and obviously the Olympics. What's the balance between leaning on the photos you look at from that failure, but also understanding as defending champions, not that the U.S. team wouldn't have a target on its back, but I imagine that's a different kind of weight to carry into this experience and this opportunity.
Yeah, I think that as a national team, we always have a lot of pressure to an expectation to perform highly on the highest stage. And we expect that of ourselves, so do our fans. I think there's always that sort of what the media likes to portray is that we are the best, and we like to continue to remember. Yeah, we're ranked number one in the world, but at the same time, this women's soccer is continuing to grow, and the quality is just continuing to evolve. So with that, we need to continue to stay above the trend, and that means learning and growing as a national team as well.
All right, so I am that media, and I definitely fall into that trap with this next question. But I'm interested. You and your teammates, you've lost one match since the start of 2018. It was a friendly. I know there's a long ways to go, and there's some very, very good teams in front of you. But if you're able to get that World Cup trophy, are we looking at possibly? Are we talking about possibly the greatest soccer team that we've seen?
Well, I think that being a part of the 2015 World Cup team and then being 10 years old during the last time that we won the World Cup in '99, I've seen just the growth of women's soccer globally, and it's pretty incredible to see that, and to see that there's so many more details and layers into sports now, and also so many more resources available to us and opportunities available to us that weren't ever available to the 99ers and then the 15ers even. So it's pretty incredible to see the growth. So I do believe, if we play at our best this summer in France and come home with what we're looking to come home with, then I think there's no doubt that this will be the best team that we have put forward at the opportunity to put it forward in 2019.
It really is an exciting time, and I can remember I was unfortunately a little older than 10, but I remember exactly where I was in 1999 at Hit Street Market at the University of Missouri, screaming with a room full of strangers. It really is this thing that brings the country together, this experience, this opportunity. When you go into these matches, do you think about the fact that you're playing for more than a team and more than yourself, that you're playing for your country, or is that enough pressure that you try to compartmentalize that when you're actually out there competing?
Yeah, I think when you step on the field, you want to think about your 10 teammates on the field, and you want to make sure that your focus is completely on the task at hand, which is winning the game, playing your role, making sure that you're bringing your absolute best in order to raise the level for the team and make sure everyone is playing their part. However, going into the World Cup in general, there's so many outside factors, and there's so many fans and family members and teammates and sponsors and companies and brands that are completely believing in us and supporting us unconditionally. I think that that's pretty incredible and noteworthy in our journey as well. It is just like I'm here today with Luna Bar. It's pretty incredible to just see how proactive they are in wanting to do what's right, not for the investment of the brand, but for something that is right, in society today, and seeing them at the forefront of gender equality is pretty incredible. And me being able to join along this road, this journey with them and with women everywhere in all areas of work, it's pretty empowering. And I think it goes above and beyond the game of soccer in what we're able to do and the platform that soccer has given us in order to speak up for these inequalities and for the women who may not have as much of a voice.
Well, we're rooting for you. It is an incredible cause. My daughter is a huge fan of yours and the team, and so thanks to you. Thank you to Luna Bar, and we'll be watching. Hopefully, go get them in France. Alex Morgan, thanks for making time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.